Welcome to Unashamedly Her YouTube channel with myself, Temogo Zondi. On this platform, you can look forward to expanded discussions on topics from our blogs on the website. Before we share new content, we decided to rewind and look at some of the posts our followers found intriguing. We reached out to some of them, and I will be answering some of the questions and what was my thought process when I wrote those articles. In this episode, we dive deep into a post that became popular, which is titled, When You Are Not Your Best Friend's Best Friend. A few months back, before I wrote that, I had just ended a long-term friendship, close friendship with which is now an ex-best friend of mine. And I was just in a process of also evaluating some of my friendships. So not only the friendship that I had with her, but some of my friendships and where we are at, and if we are really just giving in the same investments and time and effort that one was given. So that's the space I was in when I wrote, When You Are Not Your Best Friend's Best Friend. So let's look at some of the questions that we received, and I'll answer. The first question which is from Kuto. Shout out to Kuto. Are you still friends with your old friends who are not married? Yes and no. Yes, most of my female friends, I'm still friends with them. We were not friends because we wanted to get married, and therefore when I was married, we couldn't relate anymore. There was more into the friendship that even today we're still friends. I must also add that moving to KZN Durban made it somehow easier, and somehow it made most friendships survive, and the reason I'm saying that is maybe if I was in the same city with them and not being able to spend a lot of time with them, it might have been received in a negative way, because the truth is when you get married, you will spend a lot of time just with your spouse, getting to know each other, doing things together, the two of you, and just growing your marriage. So you find that just like the first year of marriage, you find yourself spending a lot of time, especially if you're in the same city with your spouse. You find that you're spending a lot of time working on your union, that some friendships and relationships might have to take a pause while you're doing that. And I think that is why most friendships, you find that if one friend is married and the other is not, you find that there ends up being tension or friction, or without any communication happening, the lack of communication happening, that people end up drifting apart. But it is really because when one gets married, they do indeed need that time with their partner to get to know each other. And it's weird because sometimes when you are not in the same season, it might be harder to understand. So I think moving to another province made it easier, and it made it, because I didn't have to explain why I couldn't meet up with you this weekend. I couldn't have to explain why I'm not watching that movie with you, and I'm watching it with my husband. I didn't have to explain all of those things because I was in a different city. So it made it easier. It made it work. And the reason I'm saying yes and no, it is because yes, some of my friendships did end once I got married. And they ended because I honestly believed that we were not then investing in the friendship equally. So I just felt I was trying all my best, because I tried all my best to make sure that I keep in touch with my friends, and we communicate. And, when I'm in Joburg, I try my best to meet up with everyone so that no one feels left out. But I didn't see that coming, or, some of my friends being forthcoming when it came to them and investing in our friendship. I just felt, people will come to Durban, and they know that I live in Durban, and literally you will see with pictures on social media that they were in Durban. And it's like, oh, okay, so I guess that's where we are. I mean, even sometimes I don't even need to see you. We don't need to meet up. But all you just need to do is, hey, just know that I'll be in town, but I doubt I'll be able to see you because, I have a busy schedule. That's it. You're not even reporting to me. It's just giving me heads up and communication. It just, yeah, it felt otherwise. Seeing people who, when I was in or whenever, I'd go home, I'd say, hey, I'm around, if you'd like to meet up, let's meet up. However, when they're this side, all you are seeing is pictures on social media. So I just felt that, okay, well, it's quite clear that we're not making the same investment. And some of the conversations that I had with my friends who did that, and I felt like we're just drifting away. When we had the conversation, it was like, oh, but I felt that you're busy and you with your family. But I was like, yeah, still. Can you reach out and let me make that decision? Let me make that call to say that, hey, no, I can't meet up with you because I'm busy. I've always availed myself when people are the side, and availed myself and my time when I'm back home so that I meet up with them. So, once some of those, instances happened, then obviously, and it was gradually, it was gradually someone saying, okay, and when I'm in Joburg, I'm calling you, hey, let's meet up. Okay, cool, yes, let's meet up. And you find that 2 hours, 3 hours before, hey, sorry, I can't meet up with you. And you realize that, oh my gosh, this person is just not making the time for me, so let me just step back and allow them to be. So they didn't end because I got married, and the friendship that ended didn't end because they didn't like my husband or any of that, but it was because I think it was a time in our lives where I just felt that we are not investing the same way equally. So instead of just draining and this thing being one way, let's just part ways, and you do your own thing and let me do my own thing. The the challenging thing with me is I'll then communicate that with you. I wouldn't just keep quiet. I wouldn't just stop communicating with you. I'll let you know that, hey, so this is what I'm sensing, and I'm realizing that you probably have other people who are your priority, or other friendships that you'd rather invest in. So let's rather part ways. Most of my friendships with guys did end, especially when Bongani came into the picture. When we're still courting, in fact, those friendship people decided to just drift away and give Bongani his space, and those were the boundaries that they created for themselves, and the boundaries that were honored, and I appreciate that. I mean, even when I bump into them, it's just a, hey, how are you, how's life, it's good to see that you're married, but yeah, they drifted away to make way and not be otherwise, because when you're married also, you just need to limit the opposite sex friendships. The friendships that I was able to keep, especially with guys, I think I have three friendships, which Bongani continued those friendships with my guy friends, and because they're married as well, yeah, I met and are friends with their wives. So yeah, it's now a couples retreat, couples thing whenever we meet up. So it is bound to happen that sometimes friendships will not really survive a certain season. I remember yeah, a defining moment for me was when my dad passed away, and realizing that people who I thought would have my back and support me and be there for me, they were really just nowhere to be found. And yeah, what was shocking also, it was just how casual they were about it. It was like, oh wow, hey, I'm really sorry to hear about your dad. Hey, but yeah, I'm not around, And there was never also like just a follow up, and yeah, that hurt me. That hurt me, and and I think it really just made it redefined some of the friendships that I had, and obviously because we are children of God, there's absolutely no way if that friend would lose a loved one or go through what I went through, just be a bit offish or casual about it, But I think it's really just being there for people, but also knowing your place and not having expectations, because yeah, and I think that's what we do as people. We end up having some type of expectations that, no, this is what my friend will do. My friend will call me on my birthday. My friend will come and spend time with me. My friend will do this or that. But once we remove those expectations, and put them aside, and really just to look at what is it that we're building, what is it that we have in common, where do we see ourselves, and work from there, I think it will be better. Oh, and this is from Matapelo. So she says, some word of advice with regards to choosing to leave a friendship that no longer serves you. Word of advice, I think you will know. And this is not only just for a friendship relationship. I think it is with any relationship. It becomes harder when the relationship is a long-term friendship, or when the relationship is a family relationship, right? Because it's like, how do I even leave this situation, if this person is family, or if this person knows all the different seasons I've been through. But word of advice is, you will know. You will know when a friendship is no longer serving you. You will know when a friendship is starting to become toxic. You will know when a friendship is no longer healthy. And I always say that it takes two to tango, so it can never be always just one person that has gotten this friendship relationship where it's at. But I think it's important to also pause and try to reflect on what is it that you would have done, that has gotten us to this place. So word of advice is, you will know. You will know. In fact, the minute you start thinking of it, should be an alarming that something is up. How is it that I'm starting to think of really leaving this relationship? And it is because it's because you will know that it is because it's no longer serving you. I must mention that it's not easy. It's not easy to leave any relationship where you have invested so much. It's never easy, whether it is a work relationship, whether it is a love relationship, a friendship, or with a family member, it's never easy to leave. And when I ended my friendship with my best friend, it was the hardest time for me. Like, I think I went through stages of grief, because I never thought that I'd get to that point with her. I thought that we will grow old together with our kids and with our husbands. I never thought that at any point, one would do life and not even take a call and say, hey, this is what's happening, or hey, I need advice, or hey, please let's pray about this, or yeah. So it was really the one of the hardest things to do, and the hardest relationships to mourn as well. But yeah, you will know. Third and last question. It is, how did you find the transition of moving cities and making new friends? So it's easy to make friends when you're young, hey? It's harder to make friends when you're old, because you've got your walls up, you've been hurt in friendships. You've been disappointed, so you just don't want to dive in and look like, this naive young lady, and then this person, what's going on. So you already have your walls up, and it was a bit hard. What was I guess it was thoughtful from Bongane's side, is he, yeah, I mean, he wanted, well, not wanted, but he exposed me to his friends with the hope that his friends would be my friends. But yeah, they are in fact nice people, but they are not, I wanted to make my friends, if you know what I mean. I wanted to have my friends. So how was that transition? It was a challenge, but it worked. What was nice is there were friendships where I felt like people chose me. People heard that, hey, there's this girl who is married to Bongani and from Joburg and has moved this side. And I remember, one of my close friends now, who's a close friend and a sister to me, reached out and say, hey, I'm Tebo. I'd like to get to know you. I'm also from Gauteng, and I've been this side for almost 10 years. So yeah, let's meet up and let's do coffee and let's get to know each other. And which is something that I liked, because like she knew exactly what I was going through, because it's not easy. It's not easy to leave where you grew up and went through different seasons and stages, and then moving to a place where you know absolutely no one but the person that you're married to. So that came with its own challenges. And a lot of transitioning that needed to do. So for her to reach out to me like that felt like I was chosen. I was chosen. And then there were some friendships where I saw someone and I was like, I like her. So let me make the first move. Let me make the first move. Let me get in, and let's see where it will take us. So yeah, transitioning into making new friends. It was, and let me yes, let me also say that I was not prepared to make new friends, because I told myself that, but I've got friends in Joburg, and like, Joburg is not far. So really, do I really need friends at this side? No, I don't, because I have amazing people back in Joburg, who are my tribe and my circle. Hey, but yeah, life happens. Life happens, and people were busy, and yeah, I needed to make friends this side, which I did, and I'm glad I did, because I've met phenomenal women who are like me, who I continue to learn from, and yeah, who have also brought me in their own spaces and connections, and yeah, we continue to just support and love each other. So yeah, that's it. That's When You're Not Your Best Friend's Best Friend. If you haven't read it, definitely do go and read it, because one of the things that I miss about my friendship with my best friend is the one-stop shop. She was my one-stop shop. She was that friend I could talk about anything and everything, and she would relate, we would laugh, she would get my sentences before I even finish them. And that's one of the things that I miss. But yeah, now one has amazing friendships, even though they're not one-stop shops. But I'm glad that God has brought people in my life who are able to meet different needs, and yeah, fill up different tanks of friendships within my life, and I'm able to do so for them as well. So yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. To stay updated with new episodes and blog posts, do subscribe to this YouTube channel or our webpage, anashemetliher.co.za. For more Q&A on previous posts, do watch the next episode. Enjoy.